Hello and welcome to the fourth episode of the One-armed Woodworker. I'm Andy King. I thought I'd put a quick one together to look at a couple of devices that I've got for holding things, which, as you know, I struggle with, and also a very quick little project to convert a birdhouse which I made some years ago into something which I hope some birds might come and live in. So enjoy. This is my tummy vise. You can buy plastic versions of this which are designed really for taking the lids off jars in the kitchen and things like that, for people with reduced mobility. I knocked this one up very quickly, actually just before I had my arm taken off, and I did it one-handed just to give me a practice, and it's really useful for all sorts of things. So little tins of paint you can stick in there and hold while you lever the lids off, and I made it big enough so that you can get bigger tins of paint in there as well. I can get a 5-litre can in and still get round it with a screwdriver. It's useful for other things as well. Obviously I can use my knees for holding things like this, but if I need to stop the drill moving around while I'm changing the bit or the chuck or the drill or whatever, it's very handy for hanging on to. And there are times when it's a bit difficult getting the battery out of here. I can do that as well on the tummy vise, just like that. So a really useful thing, and it's called a tummy vise patently, obviously, because your tummy pushes against it. It's got a little lip there to prop it across the front of the bench, and I deliberately made this as a triangle, so you're always touching 3 points on anything that you pop in there. So a really handy bit of kit and dead easy to make. You know, it's all rubbish wood, which would otherwise have probably been thrown away or stored forever, knowing me, and not being used for anything. So really easy to knock up, and just as much use to people with 2 arms as it is to me with only 1. Just a bit further down my bench I have my foot vise. This is designed by Izzy Swan, who does some fantastic stuff on YouTube. If you go and have a look at it, I'll put his link up so you can have a look at his stuff. He's forever coming up with bright ideas for things. I really find it difficult to hold things. You'll have seen that in my previous videos. So I was looking around for something that I could operate with one of my surplus appendages. So my feet obviously don't do an awful lot except hold me upright. So having a vise that's operated by them seemed like a brilliant idea. So I knocked this up according to Izzy's scheme, and it works pretty well. It's not been used for a lot yet, but you can see the basis of it. I've got a foot pedal down the bottom here. It's pivoted in 2 places here. I've got a sliding bit back and forth between the 2 jaws. And when I lean against it, it holds things very firmly, much more easily and much more quickly than faffing around even with one-handed clamps. So I can see this being very useful. It's fixed to the bench, so that it doesn't move very much, at least. And what I did, because I didn't really want to screw it to the bench, I've made use of the holes that are already in the bench for things like holdfast and bench stops. Popped a couple of nice long M10 bolts through there, and there are nuts underneath that I can do up fairly quickly, and it doesn't damage the bench, but it holds it really firmly there. So a really useful extra holding device, which I think is going to be staying there for a bit. I'll see how it works. If it works very well, then I might make a slightly more crafted version of it at a later date, once I've found out the things that it does well and the things that it doesn't. but a really brilliant little thing. Again, made out of rubbish bits of wood that just happened to be hanging around in the shed. So nice, useful addition to my armoury of tools. And I probably should add, just as useful for people with 2 arms as those with 1. Izzy himself has 2 arms, of course. So here's a little project for a wet Sunday afternoon. This is a 3-person bird box that I made some years ago. It's supposed to be for sparrows to nest in, but everyone I speak to says that sparrows never nest together like this, and we haven't really got room for a big one. So what I'm going to do is convert it down into a detached house for 1 bird, and we'll see what luck we get in the spring. Now normally this would be very, very easy to achieve in a day. I'm going to be interested to see how long it takes me with just 1 arm, but we'll see how it goes. This is just a bit of planing using one of my favourite tools. Is my lovely Lee Nielsen skew block plane, which has a removable side, so you can use it as a rebate plane as well. Beautifully made, lovely tool, and I'm really hoping I'll be able to use this properly. And what I've discovered actually is that rather than trying to use it the normal way round, I'm actually getting on rather better using it the Japanese way and pulling it. Well, there we go, finished in record time. I think that's taken me about 2 hours to do that, so I'm very pleased. Nothing was a particular issue. Few things about holding stuff as usual, but generally not too bad. Obviously this is a finished thing that I've just adapted rather than starting from scratch, but a big boost to one's confidence, I think. So let's hope the birdies think so as well, and we get some a nice family growing up in there in the spring. So that's it for this time. Next time I think I'll probably do a review of my Charnwood W619 table saw, which I've had for some time now and have used pretty much one-handed, I have to say, and maybe look at one or two other things. I'm struggling with planing, as you will have gathered, so I might get all of my planes out and give each of them a go. And see which ones I can still work and which ones are going to have to go on Gumtree. See you again next time. Thanks for watching.